My name's Luke Lannan.
Aubrey, Walton.
I'm Taylor Riggleman.
I'm Carson Brown.
This is Dalton Smith.
I'm Lydia McCammon, and you're listening to the Minor Pride Podcast.
All right, we're here with Aubrey Walton from the volleyball team. Aubrey is a senior. Aubrey, tell us a little bit about yourself and what is your role on the volleyball team?
I'm a senior, like you said, and my role is I set. So basically, I do my best to get a touch on the ball every single point or every single time the ball comes over the net. And my role is, as a captain, is to be a leader and make sure everybody feels comfortable being on the team and being somebody that people can come and talk to if need be.
Gotcha. So being a setter, has that been your role for all 4 years, or how long have you been doing that?
Yes. I've been setting since I was in the 6th grade, and Corianne and Scott were actually my first coaches. So they've coached me ever since I was in 6th grade.
Been riding with them for a long time, huh?
Yep.
So now being a senior and being in your last year, both with them as coaches and then high school volleyball in general, how does that kind of feel to be kind of wrapping up the high school career? What's that like?
It's kind of odd, like, to know it's going to end because you've been doing it for so long. But I know them really well, so, like, most of the time I know what they're thinking and I know what they're going to say. So it's a lot easier to get along than at first when we first started.
Yeah, and so this team, as opposed to past years, what's this team's like talent-wise and personality-wise? How does this team do?
So all of us are super close. I wouldn't say we really have like a weak link on the team. All of us get along. There's really no drama, which is really good because in girls' sports, if there's drama, it can go downhill pretty quick.
I can't imagine.
So in past years, we've normally had like one person that is like the dominant player and like basically leads the team in every type of statistic you can think of. But this year, it's a lot more spread out where we have to work completely as a team and not focus on one person to lead us through.
Good. And so this season so far, last time we checked in, we had only played a couple matches. So update us a little bit. How has the last couple weeks gone, and what do we got coming up in the near future?
So a big win for us was Northview. They were runner-up in 3A state last year, so that was a big win for us. And so that kind of gave us a little bit of confidence, and we've been playing pretty strong recently. We've had a few bumps, but it's been pretty good.
Here in the next couple of weeks, are there any particular matches or any other games coming up that you would say these are big ones that people would want to come to?
Well, in SWIAC, we play Bloomfield, and that's normally one of our rivals in the SWIAC. And then we also play North Knox, which is who beat us in sectionals last year, so normally that's a pretty big rivalry.
All right. Well, moving away from volleyball a little bit, you're a senior, you're getting ready to graduate. What are your plans for the future?
I'm looking at different schools to play volleyball at, and then I'm wanting to major in physical therapy, and then after that maybe move on and get a sports and medicine specialty degree. So. Okay.
And so recruiting in volleyball, have you heard from a lot of people?
I've talked to IU Kokomo, IU East, IU Southeast, and University of Indianapolis. So.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, good luck with that as we continue to move forward. But that, for now, is all from the volleyball team this week. Now we're going on to football. On the football field, we have senior Luke Lannan from the Miners football team. Luke, tell us a little bit about your role on the football team.
I play fullback and middle linebacker. At fullback, my duties, I'm either running the ball or blocking. Occasionally I'll have a pass or two thrown to me. On the defensive side, at inside backer, make a lot of tackles and call out the defenses.
Go hit people, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
That's right.
This season so far, we've had 3 games, correct? 3 games.
Yeah.
How is the season going so far, in your opinion?
Dropping that first one to Southridge, that was rough. We wanted to win that one really badly. But thankfully, we came out the second week and put it on Sullivan. It's always a good day to beat Sullivan. Just beat Monrovia this last Friday. We're 2-1, and we're looking to just keep rolling from there on.
It sounds like everything's kind of headed in the correct direction. Sounds like everything's moving up. This week, North Vermilion on the schedule. What do we know about North Vermilion, and how do you feel about that game?
1A state runner-up. They're going to try and spread us out. They like having lots of wide receivers out and passing the ball. It's going to be one of the tougher games of this year, but we should come out on top if we do well.
So a team that likes to spread you out and throw a lot, how does that change the game for you as a linebacker? And I mean, if there's a team you know is going to run a whole bunch, I mean, you know you're going to have to fill a hole and hit somebody. But when they're passing a lot, how does that change the game for you?
Well, at inside backer, we play run first. So whenever you play a passing team, you still got to play run first, but you got to get back in your drop, and you got to see wide receivers coming in, and you just have to be more aware. And they also run the option, so you got to pay attention to that as well.
Sounds like they're throwing a lot of things out there, huh?
Yeah, they are.
Keep you on your toes. So past the North Vermilion game this year, I mean, we've got a history of going to state a couple times and a history of a lot of sectional and regional championships. What do you think is kind of the ceiling for this team? What do you think are the goals should be when we get to the end of the year for this particular year?
Well, come playoff time, of course you got to take it game by game, but the goal always is and always has been win the state championship. And this year it's realistic. It's something we can definitely do.
Oh, good. So moving past this year a little bit, obviously the goal is to finish the season with a win. But moving forward, as you're graduating and a lot of other seniors this year are graduating, key players, who is someone that's an underclassman, maybe a freshman or sophomore, that you think has a lot of potential and you could see them really blossoming and becoming a key player for Linton in the future?
Well, right off the bat, you got Trey Goodman. He's a junior. He's got one more year at quarterback. That'll be good for us. And then Gabe Esslinger, he's a sophomore, plays inside backer. He's going to be pretty solid. This year he's been good for us. Give him 2 more years, and he's going to be tough.
Last thing, football related. Is there anything else story-wise? Do you have a favorite football story from your 4 years at Linton that you can think of that would be entertaining for people not inside the program to hear?
Absolutely. So last year, my brother was getting married in June, and we had a 7-on-7. So probably a month prior, we were in the weight room. Coach Mark Jennings walks up to me as I'm squatting, and he says, "Hey, did you know that 7-on-7's the day of your brother's wedding?" I said, "Oh, man, no, I didn't." And he says, "Well, what are you going to do?" Implying like I had to choose between going to 7-on-7 or my brother's wedding. And that's just the funniest thing because he is all about the team, all about football. And luckily I was able to go to both, but that was hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, you might be sitting on the sidelines or something if you skip football for a wedding.
Maybe.
Right?
Maybe.
I don't think they'd have you sitting out. But as you get ready to graduate and move forward, so can you tell us a little bit about what are your plans post-graduation for you?
Plans after high school, I want to work on power lines, and I'd really love to be working around here, say at RUMC. But if I have to do a little traveling and go union for a while, work for contractors, I'm okay with that. But I would like to come back home and work.
So what is it about working on power lines that attracted you to that as opposed to anything else?
Well, I've always worked outside, worked with my hands. I don't mind working hard. Being outside in nature, I like it. I can't be cooped up in an office all day. And part of working on power lines, you're in crews, and being part of a team I've always liked. So that's just a couple things about it that interest me.
Good. Well, that's about it this week for Luke, Lannan, and the football team. You can catch them Friday against North Vermilion, but we'll hear more next week here on the podcast. Moving along now, our third guest for this week is Lydia McCammon. Lydia is part of the band here at Linton High School. So Lydia, can you take a moment, tell us a little bit about you and what your role is in the band?
Okay, so I'm a junior this year, and I have taken the role as drum major. To be drum major, I had to go through an audition, and I waited about 3 weeks before I finally found out that I was drum major. And then in preparation for that, over the summer, I went to drum major class, which was Smith-Walbridge Clinics at Eastern Illinois University.
Wow. I guess that surprised me. I didn't realize you had to go to Eastern Illinois for classes. That's neat.
Mm-hmm.
So when you were over there, how many other high school students that were doing that were there with you?
Okay, so the Smith-Walbridge Clinics, it's not just drum major, it's just a band camp. So it's a summer-long thing, and there are many other things. And the drum major, so there are 2 weeks for drum majors. The week I was there were over 250 of us, and over 20 states were represented.
Wow.
And it's not just high school kids, it's also colleges.
Cool. Well, that sounds like a pretty neat experience for you. So being the drum major here at Linton, what does that entail? What responsibilities do you have above and beyond a normal band student?
So basically what I have to do is I lead the band in the football marching season. So basically I have to memorize all the music, like how it's supposed to sound, so I can cue everyone and make sure everyone's on the right beat and tempo. On top of that, I kind of almost take the role as the director almost, but as a student. So I have to be as hard on them as the director, but I'm supposed to be friendly. So like the director is there to be your teacher, not your friend. Well, I'm there to be almost like your teacher and your friend.
Yeah, that's good. So you can kind of sometimes be a little bit of a liaison between the two where
Yes.
you can let them know what they need, but at the same time be a different voice. That's good. So how has that transition been for you this year so far? Are you enjoying it? What has been some things that you think have gone well, and maybe some other things that have kind of surprised you, like you weren't expecting?
It's honestly been really weird because like I've always been, because like I don't always like being the center of attention, and like now I am. Mm-hmm. And so everyone is almost dependent on me because if I'm wrong, everyone's wrong. And then, but if I also don't put in enough work to try to, like if I see someone struggling and I'm not helping them, then it's not necessarily all their fault, it comes back on me. So like it's a big thing where I have to work with everyone. So like again, like I'm kind of like a mini director almost, but I don't have like that same power and everything.
Yeah, and for most people in the community, band at Linton is seen primarily through the 4th of July parade and through halftime shows at football games. So specifically now that it's football season and you guys are doing halftime shows, what all does that entail for the band? Like, can you tell us a little bit about the preparation that goes into that for our high school students?
Okay, so for the 4th of July parade, throughout the summer, this year we started in June, but every Tuesday and Thursday throughout June all the way up to the 4th of July parade, we have it depends on like how much we do. It's usually like a 2.5 hour practice. So it's usually 1 to 3 was this past summer. And so what we do is like the first half usually of the practice, we will learn the music or like go over it. And then the last half we will do parade block. So it's just like a mini block so we can get used to marching and playing. And so we do that all the way up until July 4th. And then 4th of July parade, we perform. And then we have a break until about a week or two before school. And then we do a week-long band camp. So sometimes we go on Fridays. This year we didn't. But so what we do there is we learn like positions for pregame, and we learn everything for the football halftime performances.
Are you doing the same show each game this year?
Yes. At the beginning, so with Logan Harness coming in this year as our new director, he was kind of new to all of it. And so, but like it's gone great and he knows what he's doing. But so for our first performance, he had chosen some kind of harder music that we hadn't been able to play yet, but we are able to play it now. But for our first performance, our percussion feature, so our second song, wasn't quite up to where we wanted it to be, so we cut it out. And then the minor cadets, it was hard for them to put a piece together to a piece that we couldn't really play. And so we cut it out completely, but then after that we've been able to incorporate it in, and we're still even tweaking it now, just where we need to be and everything.
So it's the same show, but we're adapting
yes.
it and fixing it. Good. Yes. So outside of band, I think that's interesting. There's a lot that goes in that doesn't always translate to people's eyes. They don't see the preparation that comes in. But outside of band, tell us a little bit about what else you do at Linton High School.
Me personally, outside of band, I am in the basketball and softball sports programs. I am a member of the NHS Society.
There's so much, you just can't even bring it all to mind, huh?
I do a lot with my church. And so, like, we do, like, my youth group does a lot of, like, little activities. Like, we're actually doing one this Sunday for World Vision and Hungry Children.
Good. Well, I would say, I guess follow-up to that is, so between basketball, softball, band, other activities and stuff, what would you say you enjoy the most? What's been the, like, most memorable throughout high school so far?
Out of everything I do?
Yeah. I mean, what comes to mind when we say, like, what's your favorite thing from high school? Hard to nail it down, huh?
It is. When it comes down to it, all of them are better than each other in their own aspects. Yeah. So I really like everything that I'm involved in, and it's really the people I'm around. So as weird as it is to say that, but I think the best part is just the people I'm around. Because I love band, and I would do anything for band. But, like, I really enjoy playing basketball, and I love my basketball team, and I love my band family, and I love the fact that I was able to be drum major and all of that. So it just...
Full of love, spilling over with love over here from Lydia.
Well, I don't want to do something if I don't enjoy it.
Absolutely.
So I surround myself with things I enjoy, so it's hard to pinpoint which one I enjoy the most, because I enjoy them all a lot.
Lastly, you're only a junior, so you got some time left, but... as you're getting towards the end of your high school career, junior year, senior year, thinking about where you want to be years from now, what are your plans that you're starting to formulate for after high school?
So after high school, I would like to go to college and be a pediatric physical therapist, because I really want to work with kids. And like I didn't know what I wanted to do until recently, but my freshman year I was put on crutches, and I personally had to go through physical therapy, and I thought it was a blast, as weird as that sounds, because no one enjoys going through physical therapy. But I thought it was really cool, and I loved that. But I still always wanted to like work with kids. And I've always had like psychology on my mind too, which is kind of like a complete different turn. But I really want to do pediatric physical therapy.
Good. Well, that about wraps it up here with Lydia. Lydia, we appreciate you joining us this week. And you can look for more from the Minor Pride Podcast next Friday as we bring back a little bit more from the football team and much, much more.